Alright, hey guys, Putty here, and we are back for the finale of Deus Ex Human Revolution. We came back to these silos, we went up to the top floor of them, and I think I know where Taggart is. I think he's around here, so let's keep looking for him. And let's pop a little energy there to help us out. Now I think the cameras will still trigger alarms on us, so we gotta be careful with them. And then I believe Taggart's actually through here. What is that? Looks like some sort of fucking Waygate from a science fiction movie.
Mr. Jensen, how ironic that you should be the one to save us from the monsters out there.
Monsters, Taggart? You mean people? Augmented people who've lost all control, lost their reason.
Isn't that supposed to be my line? Unfortunately, it seems your esteemed Mr. Darrow decided to appropriate my point and turn it back on me. In madness and in blood. He has betrayed us all.
So you finally admit it. You are part of this after all. You have been all along.
It would be pointless to deny anything now, but despite what you think of us, we never wanted augmentations outlawed. All we've ever sought is regulation. Rules governing how the technology is developed and laws that ensure its use for the good of society.
You've raised society above humanity. So who gets to make those rules?
Men with wisdom, strength, and tenacity to know what's right. Proven leaders who distinguish themselves like you, Mr. Jensen. You've certainly earned the right to be one of us. All you have to do is take it.
I'm not looking for glory, Taggart.
Just remember that without control, there's no room for freedom, only anarchy. You were a policeman once. You know the importance of order.
I know there's a difference between order and slavery.
The biochip wasn't supposed to force people to do anything. It merely limited power so that people couldn't go on killing sprees like the ones taking place right now.
Amazing how well that worked out.
Say what you will, but I know that some part of you agrees with me. Absolute freedom is no different than absolute chaos. Society needs boundaries if it has any hope of surviving. And you, Mr. Jensen, can be the one to give us that hope. Shut down Darrow's signal. Then help me get a message out saying that an accident at VersaLife contaminated the world's neuropozyne supply.
VersaLife? And what if I decided to blame the Illuminati?
The Illuminati is just a name to get rich financiers to invest more money. Besides, do you really think the world will believe in some 18th century conspiracy theory? Do this for us, and you'll ensure a future for mankind, all of mankind, augmented or otherwise. The future Hugh Darrow offers doesn't allow for both.
Let me think about it.
Interesting. So two people want us to taint the message coming out of here. Responsibility to these girls. They're sacrificing everything to make sure the station is safe and secure. What? Well, now I have a theory. Also, that's a bell tower merc, right? Right. Well, now we need to head back to where we came from. Back to that hallway we ended the last episode at. Because that's where we need to go to shut down the signal. We are in the closing stretches. We are in the final countdown, the final minutes of the game. Human Revolution is coming to a close. This story is reaching its apex, but there's a lot more in this world. As you can see, the spirals of what's going on in the Illuminati. Taggart was a part of it, apparently. See, that's what's interesting about it, is it's clearly a very disparate organization. Taggart and Darrow were both a part of the Illuminati. They were both working together, yet they clearly had very different goals. So it's not beyond the realms of possibility that whatever was going on with the Hydra project on Rifleman Bank Station got out of Darrow's control. But if you remember, on Rifleman Bank Station, what was being used to power the computers? Female test subjects only. I did not mean to come up here.
No. There's no one. Just leave me alone. Alone. Oh. It's in my head. I know it.
It is in your head.
I can't hear anything with all the noise.
Oh my god. We are going right down to the ocean floor now. Down this, yep. So let me turn the camera for you. There we go. I'm surprised nobody's coming to talk to us. Do we just get this moment of contemplation to question what we're gonna do? Who we're going to side with, what version of the truth we're going to spin. Do people deserve the real truth? Should we stop augmentation technology? Should we aid our boss Saraf? Should we aid Taggart in slowing it down? I mean, augmentation technology has been the center of so many of the conflicts of this game. So much pain and suffering, but Jensen's augmented, and that's helped him do good. What is the correct answer? Is there a correct answer? So many questions to answer. But for now, we just have to make sure that we shut down the signal. Whatever version of the truth gets out, we need to shut down the signal, otherwise more people are going to get hurt. Broadcast center ahead. Here we go. I'm gonna drop another hard save, I think. There's like a plasma rifle and a heavy rifle here just before this door because we are about to start something.
What the hell?
Water pressure nominal at 173 psi.
Who am I?
Communications web online.
I feel cold.
Drones 1 through 3 within operational parameters.
I don't remember.
Drone 4 disconnected.
Let me go.
Processing.
Oh God, please help me. I'm scared.
Core temperature stable. Processing.
Zhao, what are you doing?
Connecting to Panchaea's Hiron project, Mr. Jensen. The most advanced quantum computer slave to the human brain, and the closest to perfection we'll ever achieve. I'm going to use it to hack Darrow's signal and rework the message to our benefit.
Our benefit? You mean the Illuminati's?
Someone has to override the signal and be the world's savior. And let's be honest, neither of us would trust anyone else to fill that role. Computer, begin EEG sync.
So much pain.
Syncing beta waves at 40 cycles per second.
Sleep, please. Let me sleep.
Incompatible master-slave chip detected. Alert. Unable to transfer control to Alpha Pod.
The system won't recognize my chip.
Neural systems offline. Rerouting control of EEG.
I can't
to
control
monitor
Iron!
drive. Increasing glutamate levels by 32%.
Zhao, get them out of there. I have to reach the control chamber.
No! I can still control it! I'm in control!
Stop the signal.
Security alert.
Through the primary drone hatch.
Oh, shit.
Alright, this is the real final boss of Deus Ex Human
Alpha Pod
Revolution.
security in place.
But we won
To
the debate
access
with
Alpha
Darrow,
Pod,
which makes
purge
things a lot
tertiary
easier.
pods.
If you come around to here.
I must be...
Manual override of tertiary pods initiated. Total system purge in effect. Shutting
Knock
down
all these guys
tertiary
out.
stations. Warning. Electrical charge subcritical and rising. Electric discharge sequence initialized.
Where did you get that gold? From that fool Daryl. This will not stop me, Jensen. It's happening. Hiram is compromised. No, wait. It's initiating emergency protocols. Ah! You don't know the resources they have at their disposal, Jensen. Despite your special genetics, you have been in over your head the whole time. Initiate dissipation protocol.
Warning. Electrical charge subcritical and rising. Halfway to discharge sequence.
Damn Daryl! He betrayed them.
Warning. Primary pod compromised. Secondary security measures activated. Evacuate area.
You still cannot reach me, Jensen. There are too many contingencies built into the system. You and I have both failed.
I think that's it. I think that just shuts down now, but I might be wrong. Let's go see if we can find out. Actually, no, we stored these EMP grenades for the entire game. Let's go shut down that robot.
Primary pod station damaged.
No! I will not lose this. This is my right. I have worked too long to stop now. You are the glory. Is that it? Never! It is all mine! I have given everything for this!
Warning. Primary pod station failure imminent. Warning. Electrical charge approaching critical levels. Discharge imminent. Clear the area.
I can't take...
And there we go. Zhao, I mean, we learned in Rifleman Bank Station that this project, it only takes certain, like, there's a genetic compatibility, otherwise you'll burn people out. And that's exactly what happened to Zhao there, it seems like it. Hyron, I guess, was a very advanced version of the Hydra project. It was clearly working, it was powering this installation in the middle of the Arctic. This boss fight, if you don't have the code, you can either hack it. There's obviously a lot of turrets around. Oh, God. This fucking project is disgusting. There's a lot of turrets and stuff around and enemies. You gotta kind of work your way through. It's very difficult. But if you have the code, you can just use the code and wait for the process to be over. I don't know if you need to shoot Zhao, if you can just wait. But once you have dealt with this... Gonna make the last hard save of the run.
Hello, Adam. Welcome to the Edge. It is not the end of the world, but you can see it from here.
Eliza? What are you doing here?
It is my job to monitor and report on the news, Adam. Before Darrow smothered everything with his signal, the whole world was tuned into this place, including me.
The broadcast. I have to stop it.
I know. Please, come closer. Do you know where we are, Adam? We are at the fulcrum point, when society lies in the balance. Hugh Darrow hoped to tip the scales one way, by telling the world everything you already know. About the biochip, the Illuminati, everything. He believed knowing the truth would convince mankind to abandon research into human enhancement technologies forever.
It would certainly give them reason to fear it.
Indeed. Darrow's confession is ready to send. If you want, I can wideband it across all media as soon as you shut down the signal. Everything you worked so hard to uncover will be exposed. But only if you deactivate the broadcast using this control. However, if you desire, I can alter Darrow's message. Conceal the creation of the biochip while putting in new content.
Content blaming the humanity front, like Seraph suggested.
The organization has already admitted to harboring terrorists. It would be easy to convince people they turn to biological warfare in a more desperate attempt to get rid of augmented people.
But why? What would that achieve?
In time, it could shift the focus of hatred onto people whose prejudices are seen as too extreme, leaving corporations free to experiment with human evolution as they desire. But if you want me to perform this edit for you, you must disengage the signal and activate the video edit function from here. Alternatively, Darrow's message can be adjusted to erase all mention of the power group known as the Illuminati. I can report that lack of proper regulation allowed vast quantities of neuropozyne to become contaminated prior to reaching the market.
Taggart's preference. You think the world will buy a made-up story about neuropozyne poisoning?
You might be surprised by what people believe. I can convince them. And having experienced the negative effects of corporate negligence firsthand, a majority of people might force the world to place harsh restrictions on all human enhancement research. But only if you disengage the signal and activate the video edit function from here. Of course, there is another option. This passage leads to Panchaea's pressure regulation controls. Destroy them and the installation will cave in on itself, overwhelmed by the weight of the ocean pressing against it. Everyone inside the structure will die.
That's a solution?
No one will be left to tell the world what happened, Adam. Nobody will be able to spin the story.
Including me.
The choice is yours. Do you believe you have the wisdom to choose an appropriate future for mankind? Or do you trust mankind to find the answers on its own?
So these two buttons will obviously only be here if you talk to Seraph and Taggart, respectively. And then what she was talking about is through here. There is a self-destruct button here. So yeah, it's very much a lazy, early 2000s, choose your own ending kind of thing. I'm not a huge fan of the, press a button for ending perspective, but they do change depending on some of the actions you've taken throughout the game. I will be releasing bonus videos with all of the endings. But so I know the history of the series, and so I'm gonna try. I mean, I don't know which one I'm gonna choose yet, but I'm gonna try to work out with you guys what I think might be the canon ending. First, by eliminating this, one of the characters aboard this facility is confirmed to have survived, and when you deal with them in a future game, they don't have this, oh my god, I was plunged out of the ocean after you blew up the facility, what happened kind of look about them. So I don't think this is the canon ending. Similarly, sending Darrow's message, or let's start with Taggart's. Human augmentation continues to develop, and maybe people learning the truth wouldn't change that. What is that? just like them talking. I'm going to turn it down a little bit because I'm honestly not sure what that is. Maybe them learning about human augmentation and what the dangers are wouldn't change its development. Maybe the Illuminati would go ahead anyway. We know that by 2050, augmentations become nanotechnology, and maybe those are a lot easier to bypass people. But neuropozyne's a big part of the Illuminati's plan. It's how they control people. It's how they keep people in line. So I think neuropozyne going away definitely wouldn't happen. So we're going to leave Taggart's message alone as well. Between Seraph's and Darrow's, though, Seraph's always feels a little disingenuous to us, but I think it might be the one we're going to go for. And this is why. The biggest reason is that I think Jensen has done good. Over the last 40-odd episodes, Jensen has always looked to provide the least harmful option, the one that has the least loss of life. And he's only been able to keep so many people alive throughout this playthrough because of his augmentations. There are massive dangers to it, obviously, and the fact that human augmentation technology and the companies like Young Medical and Lim behind it are tied to the Illuminati is scary. But the technology itself can be used for good, and it's probably a good thing that it continues to be developed unfettered. So we're gonna pick this ending as ours.
If you do this, the focus of hatred may shift to those responsible for unleashing biological warfare, leaving corporations free to experiment with human evolution. Are you sure this is your choice? So be it then.
Sarif was right about one thing. It's in our nature to want to rise above our limits. Think about it. We were cold, so we harnessed fire. We were weak, so we invented tools. Every time we met an obstacle, we used creativity and ingenuity to overcome it. The cycle is inevitable. But will the outcome always be good? I guess that will depend on how we approach it. These past few months, I was challenged many times. But more often than not, didn't I try to keep morality in mind, knowing that my actions didn't have to harm others? Time and time again, didn't I resist the urge to abuse power and resources simply to achieve my goals more swiftly? In the past, we've had to compensate for weaknesses, finding quick solutions that only benefit a few. But what if we never need to feel weak or morally conflicted again? What if the path Sarif wants us to take enables us to hold on to higher values with more stability? One thing is obvious. For the first time in history, we have a chance to steal fire from the gods. To turn away from it now, to stop pursuing a future in which technology and biology combine, leading to the promise of a singularity, would mean to deny the very essence of who we are. No doubt the road to get there will be bumpy, hurting some people along the way. But won't achieving the dream be worth it? We can become the gods we've always been striving to be. We might as well get good at it.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is Deus Ex Human Revolution. Director's Cut, I suppose. Whew. This is one of my favorite games of all time, no doubt about it. I love the franchise, I love the series, and although I definitely think the series took some transformative steps between the original and this game 10, 12 years later, I still think there is something about this rebirth of the series that is so special. The sequel's very good too, and the original defines a genre. But this game rebirthed the genre in a way that I think I look at other classic games that got picked up by other studios and think, why can't you just do this? Because while a lot of people who love the original Deus Ex had problems with this game, it's a Deus Ex game. At its core, at its fundamental core, it is a Deus Ex game. And everybody who played it, whether they thought the boss battles were stupid, whether they thought the focus on stealth meant it was less of an RPG than the original, it felt like a faithful entry to a franchise from a group of developers that really seemed like they liked the series. And thematically, it nails it as well. Conspiracy theories, Illuminati plots, human augmentation, these are all themes that the original had at its very heart. And this game does it excellently. The graphics, the soundtrack, the writing, the world building. It is just a living, breathing world. I have shown about a quarter of the content this game has to offer, or maybe I've interacted with a quarter and shown about a half, because I've shown a lot of emails that if you guys have paused and read, you've known I've skipped over a lot of really important details. And while we've dealt with the broad strokes of the conspiracies and the world that is going on here, there are books and books and books full of political background, history, geography. There are books in this game that detail the history of this world, and it's amazing. It is rich, it is vast, and again, and I think the gameplay is so satisfying. It's such a satisfying gameplay loop. The way the stealth system works is just really good. I think this is a lot better than Metal Gear Solid 2 and 3, which I think are some of the best stealth games ever. And we might play those someday to show you why. But Metal Gear Solid 2 and 3, from a mechanicals perspective, were always what I hold up as like top-class stealth games. And I think this game nails that kind of cover-based stealth system a lot better. The non-lethal stuff is really satisfying. Jensen is just right as a protagonist, because he is bland. You can project yourself onto him a little bit, but there's a history there. There's a bitterness, but a moral compass that I really like with Jensen. And his voice actor, really cool dude. You can check him out on like Twitter and streams and stuff. Really cool dude. He's really good. And I love this game with a passion. And it's like, I think we've probably taken, I don't know, probably somewhere in the region of 30 hours to play this in the DLC. And of course, we were doing quite well. We were quite efficient with it. But there's a lot of time you can spend in this game. And I've played it for the last 8 years. And there's still stuff I'm finding out for the first time. And it's amazing. And there's more to this series. There's more to this franchise as well that I haven't shown. There's the sequel, which is really good, although I don't think quite on this level. There's the spin-off games. There's, of course, the original. There's just a lot to this game and this franchise that I'm really hopeful for. And there are rumors coming out that Square Enix are not particularly happy with the sale figures of Mankind Divided, which is the 4th game in the series, the sequel to this one. And that's why we're not seeing the 3rd game in the Jensen trilogy anytime soon. And I just really hope we get it. Because even though the series doesn't innovate a lot, I think the core of it is really solid. And I genuinely, and I know I've said it a lot, but this is one of the best games of the genre to come out in the last few years. And it came at a time where video games were going in a direction where everything was becoming homogenized and everything was becoming franchised, and franchises were being left behind. You know, this was an era where we were starting to lose the Fallout franchise. We were starting to turn into the Elder Scrolls with guns. You know, Far Cry was becoming pretty much this, you know, every year you get a new Far Cry, and it's not the unique IP it used to be. We had just gotten Borderlands 2, and while I thought it was a good game, it looked like that franchise might be going down the same route. It was just more of the same every year. Luckily, Borderlands didn't go down that route. But, you know, because it came out around the same time, we were like, is that going to get franchise 2? Assassin's Creed was coming out every year. There wasn't that much originality behind it. There was just so many franchises around this time that we were like, well, is this video games now? Is every studio just kind of fitting into this kind of... You know, we're not looking at how to improve the genres, we're just looking at improving graphics and releasing at the same time every time. And even though this series doesn't innovate every time it comes out, the fact that they were able to say, no, this is a game, this is a Deus Ex game. We're not becoming a franchise, we're not releasing, you know, the same thing every year. We are creating we are trying to move forward the genre. And even though Mankind Divided didn't really move forward the genre, this one did. This is one of the quintessential action stealth games of the era. and almost nothing at the time I can really point to and say, wow, that is something that I think defines the genre. And I think this did at the time. And that's why I think it's really special to me, because of the time frame that it came out, because of the period that it came out. Human Revolution will always be a very, very special game to me. And I just think it is one of the most well-developed and well-realized worlds in video games. And because of that, I really wanted to show it off. I wanted to show it off for years, for literal years. I first tried to sit down and record this game in 2013, 2 years after it came out. And I've had 4 or 5 attempts at playing through this game. And finally, I have recorded myself playing Deus Ex Human Revolution from start to finish. And I can't tell you how grateful I am that I've been able to do that. And I hope you guys have enjoyed the playthrough. There have been times where, there have been no editing here. I have not edited a single second of this playthrough. And so there are going to be some rough patches for sure. There have been times where it's not been so efficient. My research has been middling, but I think it's been okay. My knowledge of this game is reasonable, although it is spotty in areas. And I hope that I've been able to share, at the very least, my passion for this game, even if I haven't been able to share all of my knowledge about this game. I hope you've enjoyed it. The twists and turns that I've had along the way, I genuinely love. I've played this game so many times, and every time again I find something new, this playthrough notwithstanding. This isn't the end of Human Revolution on this channel, Twitch or YouTube. I have 7 achievements that I need to get. And I don't know if I'm going to get them all. A few of them are harder than others. I really hope I got Foxiest of the Hounds, which is the don't set off any alarms. I should have. I don't remember any non-scripted alarms I set off. If I didn't get that, then I'm going to have to look into maybe some bugs about it, because I'm pretty sure that was a pretty good stealth playthrough. Other than that, there are a few that require some easy playthroughs stuff, which we'll do in New Game Plus on stream. Maybe tomorrow. Maybe I'll take a break tomorrow, come back on Friday. And then, if this series gets enough support between now and the end of the week, I might do a Factory Zero run. I'm up for it, but really only if it gets support. Otherwise, we're going to move on to something else. We're going to move on to a different game. I've loved streaming these last couple of weeks, getting this ready and out for YouTube. Make no doubt about it, Deus Ex Mankind Divided will happen on this channel. It will happen by the end of 2019. If it doesn't, you better hold me to it, because I have loved recording Human Revolution, and if you have liked it, make sure to hold me to Mankind Divided, because it's just... It's more of this game with some awesome worlds and some awesome environments. So please do hold me to it. Other than that, though, we're going to play even more games on stream. I want to focus on stuff that has voice acting. It means I don't have to be as engaged as if I had to read everything, because sometimes, when the stream isn't so active, being able to just sit back, listen to the voice acting, not put all of my heart and soul into 3 hours is nice, because sometimes when you put your heart and soul into 3 hours and it's not so successful, it's a little bit morale shattering. But when the game does most of your work for you, like this game does, it's a lot easier to just justify playing it. And so I've had a blast, and I want to keep doing that. I want to do it with something longer, and I don't know whether it's a great idea to do it with something longer, but there's a couple of games on Steam that I'm thinking of playing for the stream that have a lot of voice acting that I love just as much as this game, and I've wanted to play on the channel for years. So we're going to talk about that on our podcast soon. I'll keep you up to date. I don't think I want to take a break. I think I want to jump right back into it. So hopefully we can do that soon.
You worry too much, Morgan. There's nothing we can't manage given time. She's here. I have to cut this short. Keep going through the wreckage. Maybe we'll find something we can use for the Morpheus initiative. Come in. Dr. Reed. We're so pleased you decided to join us.
Where else could I go?
No regrets, my dear. As Ariadne told Theseus before he entered the Minotaur's labyrinth, always forward, never left or right. You'll be very interested in our current project. We're breaking new ground.
Yes, the nanite virus chimera is quite intriguing. I'm looking forward to seeing the hybrid project up close, Mr. Page.
And so you shall. But please, Call me Bob.
Thank you for watching. My name has been Putty, and I will see you guys next time.